Well, today we have some decent fog. It actually looks better on the camera than it does in person. The wide angle tends to make distances look further away, but getting ready for go on service calls today. We're taking Chris's service truck. One of them's going to be a farm call and a piece of equipment. So we're not sure where it's at. Just going to be safer to take a truck with four-wheel drive. Out on the first one of the day here. Chevy truck with a no start. It's not cranking at all, is it?
Mm-mm. Under the dash though, but that might be the relay that kills it all power to stuff.
What are you checking for first?
Let's see if it has a like an exciter wire fuse.
Hit it. Anything? Okay, I let off.
Okay, now do it.
Okay.
Yep, we're getting tired of that.
Starter's bad? Well, that's an easy one. Just completely dead starter. So Chris just tapped on it with a bar through the fender while I cranked it. We've got it running. We're going to go ahead and take it down to the shop. Throw a starter on it down there on the lift. So Chris is driving the truck back and I'm following him back in the service truck. I'm going to take it over to the shop real quick. We'll get it up on the lift, get that starter off, run into town, go swap it out with Napa, and go put it back on. The local Napa is down to like one delivery driver right now, so it takes forever for us to get parts out here. So this is our next one. It's a 542 valve in a Ford. It's a crank no start. First thing we're seeing is all that coolant and stuff. It's caked up in here. Everything is covered.
Where's the Schrader for fuel? Way back there. Oh, man. You know what? I'm getting some gloves.
I was gonna say, this thing's covered in like every fluid imaginable. Yeah, it's barely trying. This thing's got no fuel pressure. I can't even hear the pump kicking on back there. We checked the inertia switch. It's not tripped. So, keep turning into it, see if we can figure out why it's got no fuel pressure. Try it again. Alright, so this one, we're going to have to figure out if it needs a fuel pump or a fuel pump driver module, or if it's got a wiring problem or something. It's in town here, it's not far from the shop, so we're going to have them bring it down to the shop, and we'll take a look at it when it gets there. Well, that's going to do it for our first two service calls of the day. Our next one, we have to wait a little bit here before we can go do it. So little Tyler just finished up the trans install on this Yukon. By the time we get this thing done with the test drive, it'll probably be ready to hit the road and go on our next service call for the day. Alright, we're getting ready to pull out on the road for the first time here. See if transmission number 2 that the junkyard sent for this is going to be a good one. Oh God, we got second gear. We got third gear. It's a Christmas miracle. This thing actually drives decently.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of faith after the good transmission the junkyard sent us last time. Well, not us, but sent the customer. Also make that very clear, we did not get this transmission or supply it, find it, any of that. The customer dropped it off with the truck. Which kind of sucks for him because it went bad that junkyard's not wanting to work with him on having to pay us to do another transmission on this. because unfortunately, you know, we didn't supply it, so we're not the ones having to eat the cost on that. Well, it drives a lot better.
Perfect.
Well, my service truck is blocked in, so I was going to take my Cadillac to the store. And then I remembered it doesn't have any water in it, and I've got the radiator hose off, so I guess we'll just walk. Good thing Chris said something. I completely forgot I drained the cooling system on that car. I got my lunch, Doritos and a Coke. We're supposed to leave for a service call, so I didn't have time to order food from there. But I don't think we're going to be near town today where I can go get something else. So we got a 6-liter in the building. We got the truck back to the shop here. Starter's out of it. We're waiting on Napa to bring the new one. And they just got the motor out of that scissor lift, the new motor. We got it marked up where the holes we got to get drilled so we can mount it. Try to get that thing done while we're sitting waiting on the next call. Got the new starter shoved up in this Chevy here. I didn't go under at the service call, but this thing is rusty. Keeps dropping it in my face. It sucks. So we're in Hall, Indiana right now. We're trying to find a skid steer. We were given some instructions of where to turn and how to get there. Only problem is that was a while ago and we forgot to write it down, and there's no phone signal out here to get a hold of the owner. So good news is it's a small town, and we'll find. There's a skid steer back there in the trees. Looks like it could be a cat.
Rick's got a small excavator. That's not a small one. That's not a Kubota.
Well, that's out of. Either way, it's a small town. There's only a couple roads out here it could be on. It's within 3/4 of a mile of town. We just can't remember which road, so we'll find it. Well, we found it. Man, that ground is soft. You can tell by walking on it, but when Chris pulled out on the truck, you really saw it. So they've already got the safety in place on it. Cab's up for us when we got here. The owner started working on it, that's why the track's pushed off right now. So we're taking a look now to see which line it is that's blown out.
The more I walk, the more it's like quicksand.
And that's what we're working in. I told you when I watched your truck pull in, it was really getting in there. This is gonna be fun. So that's the owner of this piece of equipment. He brought his mini excavator out here. We're gonna use that to try to lift up on the back of it a little bit so we can get it to unload a little bit of weight on it so we can try to get a crow's foot in there to get that hydraulic line loose. It is just a mess out here. So we got the back held up right now with that mini X. It's not the most ideal thing, but keep your hands and feet clear. You should be okay. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of option out here. This ground isn't strong enough to put a jack on or anything, and it's stuck here. But we're starting to make some progress getting that line out. So that line hooks up there, goes down through the chassis here, and comes up and returns over here. And we just need to get that off for the customer so he can go get a new line made for this.
He's getting the other 3 lines.
We're doing them all while we're here?
Yeah.
Everything that hasn't already been done.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to mess with it anymore.
I could see why. It's a pain.
Yeah, he already replaced these 2 down here. And you got to take the track off every time to get to it.
Now we got the first line off.
Right.
That was the easy one though. So we got the other end broke loose, but it's not swiveling, so.
It's still turning. I got my hand on it. It is.
We just got back from going in town and getting the hoses. It's like 6 o'clock, so we're gonna try to hurry up and get this done before we start losing good light out here. So one line is here, the other one's on this back side. A bit of a pain to get to. They just run through the body right there and go up over into the pump.
There we go. Now the other one's the one that was on the bottom. Yeah, hold on. It has to be fed through that way too, because it won't fit down through there. Okay. Ready? Yes. Okay, it's close to where it needs to be. You got to shut this in there too. Top of this is under it. It ran underneath. Can I have that fitting that's laying over there? Thank you.
Well, I think I call that one done. That was a bit of a pain. I think we were out here for like 5 hours between getting those apart, going and getting the new lines made, getting it back together, but it's up and going again.